Okay, we're almost done. We're going to do step number 10, which is a crosstab query. So what we'll do is we'll create a query, and it's on the scholarship awards table. So we'll click on that table, create our query and design view. We're using that table, right? The scholarships awards table. We're going to use the parameter student or the field student ID, and we're going to use major. We're going to use amount, and we're going to create a column that's total of amount, which actually equals the amount. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to group by. Remember that group by is just on the design tab, the group by. And we're in the amount section, we're going to group by sum, as well as the total section, total of amount, we're going to group by sum. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create a crosstab. So we just design, just click on the crosstab. We do have that field appears. We're going to list what our crosstab is. So in this section, we're going to do row heading. In this section, we're going to do column heading. In this section, we're going to do value. In this section, we're going to do row heading. Then it asks us to display our field with decimals in the last two. So we're just going to we're going to go to decimal places and click auto for these last two fields. Okay. And we have to name our query last name, first name, student ID, and major crosstab query. So save it. Last name, first name, 2G, student ID, and major crosstab query. Okay. Let's go ahead and run our query. So what it's done is it's made these column headers and rows, right? To where we're saying, okay, I want you to look at all these majors, right? All these majors, and then give me the total amount of scholarship by student ID, right? So all these majors, right? The total amount. Okay, we're going to move on to step 12. This is just basically making sure that we have all our items in the navigation pane. And also, just you can do best fit here. All right, field width, as it was. Best fit. So it's a best practice to go ahead and do that. It does say it in a couple of them to go ahead and do the field width best fit. So make sure that you're up on which ones to do that. And they'll win. For example, column 10 does ask you to do that best fit, and of course, or not column 10 as it was step 10, because otherwise your query will go all the way out here, right? And you want to limit that down so that you can see your query. Okay, so we're going to go over what we need to turn in, right? In this case, our whole entire database, which we've saved here, is what we need to turn in, right? It's going to be one submission with all these items. So let's go through it real quick. It's asking for the relationship, right? Where we created the one-to-many relation between the tables. So we do have that. It's asking us for our query amount of $500 and more. Okay. It's asking us for our fourth quarter query. And I'm going to go ahead and fix that. Remember, that's the one that we copied. And mine still has that copy of. So I'm just right click, rename, Move that so it looks a little bit better. So the fourth quarter query, it wants our math and business over 200 query, our 2G cities query, our missing postal code query. And I'm getting this off of page 200 in the textbook. I'm going through at the bottom where it says, here's all the things that you need to turn in. So I'm just simply going through those. Board donation query, right? The board donation query is in both, right? Because we use both tables, right? So we'll see it in both. Amount by major query. Student ID in crossover, and I'm going to go ahead and correct that spelling there too. And I can't because it's open. So once we close it, I'm seeing it. I'm going to correct that extra E. And then it wants the major parameter key. Our query. That's the one where you double click and you got to enter a parameter such as history, and that comes up. So once you've done all that, just file, save as, know where you save it to. Right? In this case, I'm going to save mine to the desktop so that I know how to submit it in Moodle, right? I upload it from my desktop. But so just to go over, in your 2G table, you should have the table and 3 queries. In the 2G scholarship, you should have the table, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 queries in your relationship. Okay, thanks. Bye.